and if not, I'll fix it.
Okay, tell me if it's live.
I will see when I see it. I don't see it.
What?
I don't see it so far.
Oh,
Now it does. I just had to refresh the page 4 times.
okay.
It showed up. It's probably just delayed, so that's.
It takes a second.
It's weird.
So,
Well, arc to arc.
we have a new guest with us. His
Yes.
name is Ichim. He has absolutely nothing to do
How
with
the
me.
fuck did you know I was gonna say that exact name? I guess you know
I've
my
been-
name,
I've-
but yeah.
Yeah.
That I was just about to say exactly that. You read my mind.
Yeah, this
I think we've done this before. It's
Probably.
something.
That is my second. If you ever see that username on a website, that's my alt account. Yeah.
Man, this coffee tastes like ass, but I'll get over it.
Damn.
Speaking of ass,
Moji. No.
Yeah, no, he isn't.
okay, well,
I guess he's a little
Yep.
heartless.
hey,
Hey.
yeah, and no body, and
Man.
that's just got to be a mistake,
No
right?
matter, yeah, yeah. Reference only one person will get. Cool. Anyway, man. No matter how many times I've read this manga or watched the anime, I always forget about Moji somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a nondescript,
I don't think he's
non-threatening
bad,
guy.
but he's very very forgettable, I guess, just because he's like very standard, like looking and personality wise. He's just like kind of like a nice guy with a bit of a selfish streak, I guess.
Yeah, he's just a non-intrusive, polite,
Yeah.
cooperative guy. Has good
he didn't even
intentions.
get fucked by a room of guys or anything. Like, I guess I can say anything,
No.
and Michi can't be blamed for it, huh?
No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
I mean, he did go into a room of masked people who did some unfortunate things to him, but that was the plan.
Yeah, that was intentional. This story was the same in the anime, right? More.
Yeah, this
the
one is
base
adapted
thing, at
pretty
least.
much all hard.
Like I forgot about it completely. But
Yeah, exactly.
just reading it again, I remembered more or less.
I remember it once I started reading it, but yeah, the anime doesn't have any of the cool stuff with the military here or the world building.
Yeah, like that seemed new.
They cut out all the kana asking for favors, and I like
Well, because they knew they weren't going to do the actual ending, so
Exactly.
who gives a shit?
I like him teasing Ushio about having a mommy complex. It's funny, and he just told him to fuck off.
He didn't punch him. So,
Well,
was a
he doesn't
surprise.
punch. He doesn't punch guys. He just punches a defenseless small girl. It gets him
when
to
you're
sleep
so-
easy. Yeah, when he kicks.
When you're
her.
so into moms that you have to beat up your little sister
Yeah.
somehow.
I mean, that comes around to making a lot of sense in like a few chapters. So yeah.
Yeah. I think Moji's fine. He's placed in an odd place. It's almost like watching the piano player practice their scales. This is just a totally normal emotional baseline that anyone watching this is gonna, resonate with the emotions. It results.
Yeah,
This
this
to
is
me.
like the average rom-com
Exactly.
anime that airs every season.
Exactly. I was gonna say this to me is his like script concept for a pretty solid like 12 to 24 episode rom-com that he just used as one of his character stories. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what it came off to me as well. It's fine. It's more interesting than usual. I kind of find it comical that they go back, everyone in the love triangle goes back and forth in like one-upping each other, and like it's like weird like Uno reversals that they keep doing on each other, where they're like, it seems like they want each other to die, but then they want each of them wants the girl to end up with each one of the other ones, and then she wants to end up with the opposite to take care of each other's, and it's like
Yeah, because there were two guys and the girl. They both like the girl.
Yeah.
You eventually learn, but it started as, oh, he's so sick. The girl's spending all the time with him. That means they're
Exactly.
destined. And then Moji goes, oh, actually, she just doesn't like me. And even if this guy did die, then I would still lose. And then it wraps around to, oh no, sick guy is guilty that he's ruining the relationship the girl could have with Moji because, you know, that he's cheating by being
and
having his
Moji first thinks of like killing him with Zerth because then he'll get the girl, but if he dies from a disease he won't get the girl. It's like they're all playing like 4D chess, but in niceness instead of, but yeah, and it all comes back to the same, to like it like wraps around itself to just go back to the starting position basically, where nothing changes that much. But yeah, it's cool. I do like the bit about them being like, oh, that's when we realized she was a girl, and then we knew our days were numbered. It's funny.
When you just don't notice that your friend is a girl.
That happens more than you'd think.
I know. Yeah. They're
it's like the Tomo-chan anime and manga.
I like how this manga has a lot of like acknowledging like sexuality in an early age. Like they both realize in fifth grade, and the next girl talks about how, like, you know, when she was like in fourth grade, the girls would bring like dirty magazines to school and stuff, like all this stuff that manga normally doesn't talk about, which I find.
I mean, it's more talked about in manga than in most other media.
That's true for sure. But yeah, but even in manga, that's quite slim pickings. Not that every story needs to talk about that, but I just find it amusing when they do. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this section is pretty fine. Like, it's okay.
Pretty acceptable. I like this, like all the sections we did for this in general is probably my favorite section so far.
But I like is it Maki, her name?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. I remembered the iconic, like her seeing all the lights. I mean, it's in the opening. It's like the chorus drop, and before the Coco Pelli shot is her like looking out into the like billions of glimmering lights.
I'm like trying to remember. I think they changed a little bit of the stuff.
Did, yeah.
But, like, she was shown more, and I think she also saw the destruction of a universe in the anime. And
I think she glimpses like the weird like old people at the resort. Yeah, which does not happen in the manga. It's just an anime thing. It's stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say Moji probably, in terms of coincidences and convenience, it probably is the single biggest, fuck you to the audience in terms of stretching your disbelief. Where not only does he happen to be a 100% perfect match for his dying friend, but on top of that, I guess the whole core conceit of it is he happens to be in a situation where he's going to die at a very predictable moment in a way that will not damage his heart in any way. And also he knows the military and can organize all this. And it's a lot of the coincidences in Bokurano makes some sense.
And he has a penchant for predicting stuff, and he just predicts this as like a joke. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like crazy, Darwinian kid. Him landing on top of his father and destroying him, that makes a little bit of sense because the destruction is so big in the first place that it's not that weird.
You start normally like around where you were, and so if he's in his apartment, his dad would be around where he lives. That makes sense.
If Zerth is the size of a fucking city and he's in his neighborhood, then it's not that weird that he would land on his dad. And there's a few other coincidences where certain characters in Bokurano are extremely connected politically, and they use that to pull things off, and that kind of makes sense. This is the one place in Bokurano where it gets a little ridiculous with the coincidences. It's not the end of the world, but I
will say
I notice it. I still like this part well enough.
For how kind of forgettable he is as a character and his story just being fine, this is one of the fights that is not adapted in the anime at all and is one of the coolest ones. Like him ripping.
I always remember bottle opener robot.
Him ripping the robot's spine out and throwing it over his head is so fucking cool. And then it doesn't work, and we have to get a guy to kamikaze dive bomb like into the cockpit. Thing. Yeah, like this is cool.
The military does something.
Yes, it's a cool fight. It's one of the more memorable encounters, even if the pilot himself didn't do that, but it's a clever trick.
And then not the next fight, but the one after that gets skipped completely.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I like him kicking his leg up and shooting laser beams from. You see a lot of like weird like positions in this fight that's like that are almost like surreal.
I mean, it is a surreal situation.
Yeah, it's a very weird. Yeah, it's very the bottle out, the
The feet sticking
corkscrew.
out.
Yeah, guys, and he just has his cockpit at the very top. How the fuck did this robot make it to like round 6 or whatever?
Because everyone underestimates it.
I guess so. Yeah. Those
Well, the
poor
first 5
other-
it fought were giant robot Coke bottles.
They were the cylinder. They were the cylinder robot from before, and he stood up perfectly straight. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about Moji. There's some cool stuff with Dung Beetle and the military people.
We still don't know who he's talking to. Like,
Yeah, we still don't know. Well, I know, but the
right. You don't. I don't know.
I like they mentioned that the guy's fingers have been reattached, and Dung Beetle's like, yeah, whatever.
Seems kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, it does, but it's possible.
This is like a slightly future tech world.
Yeah, remember,
Yeah.
this is a future world. Bam.
Yeah.
Love those explosion effects. Good job, guy.
I still I once reading this again. I once again just was reminded of that this person wasn't that great at conveying motion. I mean, the explosions you showed, those look good.
There were a couple confusing shots in the fight where like it was a bit confusing who was shooting lasers at when, and then suddenly it's just like above him. I mean, it's kind of hard to convey movement with like weird, clunky, amorphous robots. But
it probably wasn't even in this fight that I was given that how sort of stationary this one is. This is relatively fine. I think it was one of probably the next one would have been one where it's just it looks.
This is one of my
static
favorite
from this, though.
characters, actually. I think,
Yes.
or one of my favorite sections.
Maki,
from me too.
You like
Yeah,
you
both
just
this one
Green
and
just
the
likes
next
it because she gets spanked, but yeah,
Okay, that is neither here nor there.
yeah,
Actually, you don't know if she got spanked. Maybe she just got hit in the
she
face.
definitely
She got
spanked.
spanked, Jaws.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
Yeah, of course, and we don't know if Chachamaru and and Kageaki are alive or not. Let's just Jaws,
Good reference from
dubious
nowhere.
Jaws strikes again.
I mean, it cuts from him yelling, "That is worth a spanking,"
Yeah, to
to
her
a wide shot of the
making
house.
it
And
Okay,
face
I read a
screaming,
different translation.
Yeah.
So okay, that didn't mention that.
Hey,
Also,
look, it's
you know, when this guy
Ushio's
comes back
bedtime
later-
routine.
Oh, damn it!
What is she
Also,
sorry
when this guy
for?
comes back later, spanking is just his thing. That's
Yeah.
just what he does.
Yeah, he loves spanking.
he has one solution for everything.
When she earlier she said like when she says like how much like courage do you think it takes for my dad to hit me, or she means spankings. Like I don't think he's ever done anything else. Man, it's cool her
Very
running out in her
Japanese part.
pajamas to chastise Ushio.
Yeah, I do like their dynamic with the dad because, she's almost an adult and she was adopted. And her parents seem to be really good parents, but they are just slightly weird people.
Yeah,
Where the dad is obsessed with, otaku
and they're like a bit
gunpla
old
and
for
stuff.
her.
And that ends up being plot relevant because that's how she figures out the whole,
And that's-
interdimensional.
And we find
thing.
out that's why she chose Zerth, like we thought it was just like an original pun on her part, but it's actually like based on an old manga, and she never finished it. And the dad's like, "Oh yeah, that's the one where the Earth explodes at the end," and he's like, "Oh fuck." She's like, "Oh shit." So that's cute. Also, neat little foreshadowing here with this building. I will say no more. Yeah, just a solid section. At least top half for the kids, I would say.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised how well they seem to get along in this scene. Like, given how
Yeah, go on.
given how little we see of Ushio, and most of the time we see it, he's just being a dick to his sister. So it's
Yeah.
like interesting. Like you get to see more that he's not always like that.
Yeah,
Only almost always like that.
Ushio, when we get to his part, he has like one of the most like crazy kind of like turnarounds I won't say it like redeems him completely, but it definitely makes him one of the more like one of my favorite characters at least. Spanking time.
Yeah, the dad should spank Ushio, someone who really deserves it.
Speaking of stuff that was cut from the anime, how do you feel about her makeover?
Yeah, he dressed her like in a cartoonishly whorish outfit that could never actually exist.
Sci-fi horror outfit.
No other character dresses like this in the show. Where did they even buy this?
Well,
Apparently, I didn't like the other girl mentioned like the saloon.
Yeah, the saloon I think also does clothing makeovers.
What I don't understand is how it looks, how her hair got longer, unless this is extensions.
Well,
yeah, they're
extensions.
Yeah.
Or at least temporary extensions. I don't really know how extensions work. I assumed it was some form of magic, but
no, extensions have extensions.
It does exist.
Extensions have a rubber band that kind of knots into the hair, and then you kind of wear it in a way that you can't tell.
Yeah, what I don't get,
because I've known girls before.
One, this doesn't look like a real outfit. The top part at least looks like negligee, or at best something.
It's like a ridiculous leotard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did they
at
take
best
off
it's
her
something you
underwear?
would get.
Or was she already wearing a thong?
Yeah, and then when the part I was gonna say at best
shot,
it's a cosplay thing, but then when she walks around, her ass is actually hanging out and is visible.
Also, surprising that the one egging her on is Piano Girl who dresses like someone's mom is funny too.
And just living vicariously.
Yeah, she's you look great. I mean, I would never dress like a whore, but you're pulling it off. Yeah.
This shot, it doesn't even make sense that the pants are staying up unless the shirt is holding them up somehow, where the shirt is also suspenders.
Well, they can be.
Are connected
let me
to the
teach you another
thing.
trick girls use, Green. Safety pin on the inside of the cloth. That's all you need.
Damn. Well, shit.
Yeah, you gotta start thinking with fashion. Man, she sure bumps into her mom a lot. Yeah. Hey, Preggers, mom. Yeah. I was worried she was gonna bump into her mom wearing the outfit because the first it just cuts from this to this panel here. She thinks she's gonna be like, "What are you fucking wearing?" But it's okay. She's in her high school uniform or middle school or whatever. And man, it's of course all the timings happen at the wrong time. A baby's gonna be born, but she's got to pilot this Earth. No. And yeah, it
is sad how she almost had hope at one point.
Well, she kind of got to see him well enough.
She got to see it in light form.
In a way.
It is sad how she's kind of looking around going, "Oh, my mom's going into labor any moment now. This might actually work out." And then,
chooses the most dickish times on purpose to fuck with people. I also like everyone else in their pajamas in this shot.
What I still not understand, and I forgot if this is part of the anime, is the stuff with her chair not moving to the middle. If anything is up with that.
Gosh, yeah, I was thinking about that too, and I failed to remember exactly. I feel like
I don't remember.
I feel like that is important, but
there are some shenanigans with the chairs, but
there's some
subtle enough
with
that
the chairs.
It's hard. Even now, it's hard for me to remember exactly what it was.
It is weird how he just dismisses it and is just like, "Oh yeah, sometimes that happens." Yeah, well, whatever. Pilot the robot. Yeah, gosh.
I initially thought for a moment that it was actually the overweight kid who was piloting the robot, and she only thought that she was moving, but that's not the case.
She definitely signed the contract, but
we will probably see it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, her chair is the baby cot, and she's sharing it with Kana. That's right. Fuck, it's got something to do with it, I'm sure. Oh well. This wacky thing. What the hell?
Yeah.
What was it? I've completely forgot. I have to see it.
It's like a spider. It's like a funny spider with spinny blades.
It actually reminds me. There's a character from Teen Titans, which is just this.
Oh.
Teen Titans has a character where it's a giant spider, but there's a teenage boy whose head is the spider's head, and he dangles between the legs.
It reminds me of? It reminds me of Fooly Cooley when Eri gets caught by the weird thing and is defeated by Curry. Yeah.
Spicy
and her
curry.
bloomers get caught on Canty's head, and he puts them back. Yeah, this is a weird fight. The most interesting aspect of the fight is actually that they're the invaders this time.
Right, yeah. I mean, this is
a cool reveal.
Yeah. It's an away game.
It's an away game, yeah, exactly. And for a second I forgot when the military craft attacks. I thought that somehow military from the enemy's place had come with them, as a backup unit helper, like the military is helping these guys. But then I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. They can't bring vehicles unless they were in the cockpit. So, so it's cool that we finally crack open the cockpit. Moji had kind of hinted at this. And we see a bunch of people with their own chairs, and there's a guy in there who looks like a bit of a Coco Pelé. They are all adults, yes. That's more common than all children, I think. I think Coco Pelé said something like, "Oh, this'll do."
I think Coco Pelé just stumbled into the first group he found.
Yeah,
and
he was
went,
like, a group
whatever.
of 15 people? Hell yeah. Or however many there were.
It should have been 15.
Yeah. It is cool how she just murks the whole planet knowingly. I love this. This is one of my favorite 2-page spreads in all of manga, probably. It just looks so fucking cool. And of course she had no choice, but she still was brave about it, and it's cool.
Yeah.
The way she does it. Bam. 10 million.
10 billion souls,
10 billion,
then just goes lol.
I also just like the more young people says or tells them how many people they've killed up to this point, and he goes 60 billion.
Yeah, and also he's like, if you want, you can double your tally by losing the fight, doubly losing the fight. Yeah.
There are no ties. We both lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Does that kind of how does it even make sense? If they get defeated,
it doesn't. Remember there's weird standstills you can get into where the pilots get killed by other causes, but the fight isn't over. And Dung Beetle basically explains that this is a culling process for the universe.
Yeah.
Where the laws that be have decided that the way to get rid of different parallel possibilities is to have them have robot battles.
Too close to each other.
That's right. Yeah, they choose the closest ones in a bracket, a tournament bracket format to fight each other. And next we get Kyrie. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. That is probably my favorite of those sections. I don't think, or I don't remember if the whole almost preachy conversation with the soldier is in the anime. I don't think so.
I don't think it is. I don't think anything like that is, because the soldier chick does not have a payoff in the anime, but she does in the manga. I like all the talk about her, why they joined the military too. I kind of skipped over that, but that was kind of a cool segment too.
I like how they set up that her sidekick. They start talking about how he got in the military because he loves this anime with
and the girl knows which anime it is because her dad's an otaku.
Yeah.
Yes. The layers they keep.
The layers. It's like Earth. It's got all these plate layers. Yeah.
What I was going to say, this feels maybe not the first, but one of the big scenes where it's just showing us what the themes of the manga are, or at least some of them.
Yeah, this is definitely...
It's one full chapter almost of this conversation about sort of the responsibility value of life thing versus other life and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's a thesis statement. Well, now for something not as good.
Wait, are we already already moving on?
I don't have that much more to say about it. Also, I have to be economical with my speech, but you guys can say stuff. What would you like to say more about?
Well, we should at least mention fat guy, right?
Just
Like
briefly go over it. Like his.
Wait, what? Were we supposed to read that? I stopped here. You said the next two kids.
oh
Yeah.
no,
he said full fat kid.
Oh fuck.
But you
Well,
know
shit.
what?
It's okay.
Actually, I
Do you remember everything?
I don't give. I mean, do you care, Michi, or should we
No,
talk about it?
I've read this, and I'll quickly recall. Okay, well, fuck. Is this
well,
when he goes after
just-
the teacher?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when he talks to the teacher.
I even forgot this until you mentioned it, but yeah, so this.
This doesn't happen in the anime either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where him and the teacher. Well, it starts with him going to. He has a manically depressed cousin who was a happy girl. Then her friend tried to commit suicide with her, and she stood there while the friend jumped.
That's
and
right.
now she's a weird wreck who is panicking and saying Zerth should kill me, not other people. And fat guy goes to cheer her up and says, "Let's open a window." And he opens the window, and then it shows a building that's been blown apart by Zerth. And he again and goes, "Never mind, let's not open the window."
I remember. It's all coming back to me, man. This fat kid just has terrible relationships. With everyone. You sure are a fast runner.
Even the new freaky like rapist kid too.
That's
if you
true.
remember, like he knows all the worst characters.
Yes, that's right.
He was somewhat privy the Chizuru situation.
Yeah.
They kind of do the thing where he's this really sensitive, perceptive person that knows everything going on, but never is a participant.
Yeah. Also, they mention in the last stretch, they mentioned something about him being at the police. And I think that's him. I think that was him outing the teacher, which just gets him fired, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Wonderfully realistic, actually.
Is it? I thought it was basically like a time fuckery thing where that was actually after he stabbed the teacher. Like
no, I think that was him. I think he got the teacher fired, and then he tried to stab
I don't think Bokurano ever pulls.
Yeah, I don't think
complex
I don't
time
think it
editing
does anything like that. It's all in order. Yeah, he gets revengi, as it's known.
Except it doesn't really do anything.
No. Well, this is one of the most, like, I mean, I would say, like, notorious if Bokurano was that well known, but to me it is. Like, conversations I can remember from the manga, even though I didn't read the stretch recently. I totally remember this insane, like, where he's, like, convincingly justifying his actions.
I mean, it's like the super egotistical, or not.
Rationalization, compromisation thing.
Yeah, like whatever a psychopath or a sociopath would say to justify it.
Like a manipulator, justifying stuff, and he's just like, it's like he's thought about this a lot, and he knows how to respond to like everything, basically. It's odd. It's very odd. But we're just given this scene with him just sitting here and the other kid's like beat up and like he's just like, yep, I'm pretty cool. And I still have a girlfriend. Oh no, she broke up with him. That's right. But still.
Wait, what? No, I think it hasn't been mentioned if that happened.
Okay, well, she did. So
I don't think. Well, in this, I just reread this, and he gloats about I've had sex with all these women,
100
they're all
women,
the same, except for Chizuru's sister. I've only kissed her. That's how slow I'm taking.
Okay, so maybe they're not broken up here, which is kind of weird considering the sister thing. But okay.
And he tries to like bribe.
Yeah, that's right. He's like. Yeah, doesn't he mention having sex or something?
Invites him into his lifestyle in a way.
Damn it. Kako would have totally taken him up on that shit. Kako would have been like, hell yeah.
which is real. At least once in your life, you will be approached by some Svengali-esque pervert who wants you to validate their lifestyle by participating.
I like how his answer is knife. He's like, what's that you got there?
Yeah. I mean, that's really the only way you can deal with people like this. Like people that just justify everything they do and have all these reasons, but they're just openly malicious. All you can do is just stab them. You're never going to get a straight answer out of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is the Muramasa approach. I hear you, but I'm gonna use this tsurugi to cut your head
remember
off.
when the teacher said, "I have faith in my evil"?
Yes, exactly. He said, "I will continue to do what I want."
Yeah. Fat kid stabs and then goes, "Damn, now I have to go stab someone else."
Teacher is a bit Sorimachi-ish too.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna sound fucked up, but I do feel like the manga is presenting it as teacher kind of has a point. Not that he's right overall, but there's like a little hint of a point.
In terms of just rationalization and that's not the exact word.
I don't think.
Well, he's saying.
I don't think.
Well, real quick,
Okay.
Just what I said. His basic point is, this is a dog-eat-dog world, and there's no inherent plan, and people are just trying to make the best of their situations and stuff. And I think that does tie into the themes of Bokurano, just not.
Yeah,
you're supposed to you're supposed to ultimately approach the issue from a different direction, but the teacher is at least asking real questions, where most of the cast is not.
I think the manga is saying something which almost no piece of media would dare to say, which is in these situations the victim isn't 100% blameless, which is a very tough stance to take. Like, and it's at least he has a terrible character make that point, but like there is like a 0.01% truth to what he's saying, where he's like, it's a bit their fault for falling for it.
Well, I'm the teacher. Yeah, not the teacher. The soldier also like sort of expands on that with
that's right.
Conversation with Kiria, where it's just all about basically choices and consequences and responsibility of actions. Like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
this whole chapter in arc is about somehow.
Yeah, they're kind of two sides of the same conversation here, because the teacher and the soldier lady, they're both kind of addressing the same thing. Like, we live in a fundamentally broken world where violence and chaos are just wrapped into the system, and also what are you even supposed to do, because life is so limited, and the amount of things that can happen versus what can't happen is so extensive that really the best you can do is just everyone like lives off other people's suffering just inherently to some degree. So.
It's like the sort of the fundamental sort of Darwinistic what's the other word like, it's not even a hard word. Conservative, I just want to say, like Darwinistic and conservative, like viewpoint, basically. Like, just all orients around this, like they're just inherent things. They're just inherent things.
I will say though, there's also value. Sorry, there's also value in Kirei, like by the same logic, him like throwing away, even if he goes to jail for the rest of his life for it, to stab the teacher to death would be a valid response to such a world, I would say. I mean, imagine all the girls he would be saving.
Yeah. I mean, they're both kind of admitting, there's no plan here.
Yeah.
So everything kind of comes down to arbitrary wills, but you can, there's a way to respond to that, which is understanding and reasonable and tries to keep things as decent as you can. And then there's just, saying fuck it. I was going to say...
Kirei's being a bit naive when he's being like, this stuff shouldn't happen, where it's like, well, it does happen, so...
Yeah. Well, not to make everything about Blood Meridian, but this is kind of a very Blood Meridian...
Yeah, it's a Blood Meridian Muramasa arc.
Response. Where just, everything's... the judge is, dancing around naked, making some very prescient points about... It's actually very directly like Blood Meridian, because the judge's whole thing is, war is God. What that comes from is him just saying... there's a limited number of things that exist, and when different possible things that could exist are overlapping in the same area, there has to be a conclusion in a game that forces there to only be one thing instead of more than one thing. Yeah. And that's what he means by war is God. It's I don't know if I have a part two to that, but it's very similar.
remember in Muramasa where he comes to the conclusion that like the rule of balance is just an intrinsic part of life and not just a thing of the suit. And then he realizes that it's not even ever been a part of the suit to begin with, actually. Like, it's not a hard set rule that you have to do it. It's just part of like the universe.
And that's one of the things I like about Muramasa is the different interpretations of the.
That's right. Yeah, and like Ayane makes kind of like her own version of it. The mercenary organization has its own version. Sorimachi has his own version of it. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
but if you try to waste the life you were given, it will force my hand.
This is probably my favorite section so far. This one.
I didn't realize we were doing this, but this also has one of my favorite 2-page spreads coming up. I think we all know what that is, though.
Do?
Yeah, with the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's one of the greatest ever.
I don't know how I feel about that. Not that it's bad. I just feel
it's just a very
weird.
It's just a very impactful image. I mean, like it just that really sticks in my mind. Like I can see it even before we got into it.
The version I read had it cut up into 2, so I didn't
that sucks.
think of it as a 1-page.
Bam! There it is. It's a big one. None of this is in the anime either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't remember any of that from them.
Nope.
Yeah, from the anime. I mean, it's right here.
It's cool that it gives him the determination to fight, though.
Yeah.
It's ultimately selfish not to fight. Yeah. I keep thinking of that bit in Odd Taxi.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've been watching it with the green and alright.
Oh, great. I was like about to bring it up again.
I think I had seen the first episode a long time ago and just I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't continue it. And green. I keep saying it's a very uneasy experience watching it, but it's a good anime. But it's very like all of it is just like all these people where you feel like bad for them and you're like worried that someone's gonna get like killed or sold into slavery at some point. But yeah, in it there's a great speech Dobu gives to the hippo guy where he's like, you're a narcissist, and he's like, I'm not a narcissist, I'm just like cowardly and have no self-esteem, and he's like, that's narcissistic because most people aren't that self-obsessed, you know. Like you spend too much time thinking about how you feel and about what kind of person you are. That in itself is narcissistic. So it's interesting.
Like how far are you into it?
9 out of 13.
Don't tell him the ending, Jaws.
No, I was just wondering.
Okay.
I don't say anything.
I've been very protective about the finale because I want to see their reaction to it.
Look, it's the other guy's chair. From her universe, chairs are stupid.
Yeah. I think my last thought about this stretch. I think it's interesting that you can kind of see on people's faces and their hesitation that there was a lot of variation among the group of how much they understood what was going on. Like when they do the reveal and show that they peel open the capsule and see the other team inside of it. Yeah. Some of the characters, it really does seem like they had basically figured it out. They just didn't want to think about it. Mm-hmm. And then some of them were legitimately like, oh my God, there's people in here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good point.
Just a fun thought.
It is fun. Man, look at all these cool guys. Well, okay. Now we can do what I meant to do earlier. Yeah.
You have strained your voice.
It's Yuki. Yuki's back.
Yeah.
No, remember the good old times of Yuki and Mizuha? That was fun. Look, Bond's back. He's been giving his messages on the Ouija. Look at how stupid March looks there.
All the old characters have just been completely rendered null and void at this point. It's just
we're just doing shit that's unrelated to the.
This is now a new manga. There's no I mean, if you completely took Fushi out of this, if you took Fushi out of this, it would make no difference. I mean, it would even make it would even help you focus on the doll as an actual protagonist and make you more invested in what she's doing.
All I'll say is I think the clone story is like a solid, cool like sci-fi story in and of itself.
It's
I like it as like a short story. That's why I like this stretch. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay,
it's
that's
just,
all. I'm not saying it should make you care for the whole arc, but at least
it's just not what I signed up for, and the manga as we knew it is over at this point.
It's not a good part of the manga overall story. It's a decent sci-fi short story.
Yeah, that was my like life boat in this sort of stretch when I read it the first time. I was like, at least I'm invested in this. Like, I like the dynamic of these clones. You know, there's a particular clone who I'm a big fan of. You'll never guess which one. The
one with a million meters of hair and
number 3.
She looks like various other characters.
She looks not like Mizu at all, which is interesting.
She's still got the Mizu. She's still got the she's got the Mizu face. I would argue it's just the hair is so different, and she's a completely different body type. But I think she still has the Mizu face. Yeah. Well, this is the big reveal of the doll.
Which who saw that coming?
Yeah, who saw that coming? Hey, do you like anchovy stock ramen? Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not a great shocker. Not that all reveals have to be like completely unexpected, but
what I don't understand, like since you're on the page pretty much right now, Fushi says that they have been dead for like 7 years or so, but didn't we see recently how the people like stormed the place?
No, that was 7 years ago. Like he's been like spying around the area for a long time. He didn't say when he said he saw that, it wasn't recent. He was just saying like, I remember seeing some guys storm in there, and then I haven't seen the Mizuho clones since, because he used to see them. He used to go up there and see a bunch of Mizuho clones and go, huh?
Because I thought that was a recent thing, so I was confused by that.
No, I understand, but that was just a tease.
That was the time fuckery that didn't happen.
I do like how they fell into like the weird like amniotic LCL fluid, so their bodies are still like preserved, and they have the chips and stuff. It is very gruesome too, the idea that like one of the few ways to kill like immortal like chip people is this weird like marshmallow glue that like blows them up from inside. It's very scary. Number 32, aka Doro, aka Is it a super pun because doll sounds like Doro in Japanese, and that also means mud? I just thought of that. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's how that name as well.
Yeah. Well, I like this stretch. I like the concept. I like that these like it reminded me of Dungeon Meshi when they go down into the kingdom that's stuck in time, and everyone has been like so bored out of their mind they've invented all these like esoteric fashions they put on Marcille. Like I like that bit where she's like, they tell like this weird joke and they're like, you have no idea what you're missing out on not getting that joke, like because you're not getting the knowledge implants, you dumb bitch. Yeah. It's a cool concept. Yeah, Green, say stuff about this initial part while I recover my voice with some drink.
I don't have that much compelling to say about it. I will say it's a nice enough, cute little scenario. It's almost like they're in a nunnery or something where there's all these different girls of various ages just kind of hanging out together. It's fine. I will say up until fairly far along, there was a bit of ambiguity over which of the clones was the doll. I thought there was a little chance of the old lady for fairly long.
Yeah, there was some red herrings.
What I found funny was that like when I saw the guy who was like all hidden away, I thought he looked like Charon from Hades, and then that was the name.
That was the name. Yeah, that's funny.
That they gave them.
That's a good coincidence.
Skipping like forward, you can skip backwards again, but probably my favorite section here was the angle where we see the eye getting cut from that angle. That's some unique unsettling shit.
That was unsettling. Number 3 getting marshmallowed is unsettling. there's some creepy stuff. I also like how unpleasant the old lady's death scene is in this part. Like it doesn't like pull back on it at all. It's just like she's totally been ended her life in full of like regrets and pain.
And also she's so old that she's just
she's kind of she's a bit senile at that point, which is another thing to like make 32 fearful of.
Oh god, the face thing was stupid.
The face thing was stupid.
Really
I was going to say I do like her rushing to inject the chip when the other one dies and just barely not doing it. I will say maybe this was just me. Oh, there she is. Perfection. I will say I find it slightly creepy, her like infatuation with Anton. I just kept thinking how this would look if the genders were reversed, where she's like very, very like basically like in love with him in a weird way. Like it's not sexual, but it's still like weird how much she like how quickly she's like
I think it's
him.
explained like well enough how she came to that conclusion with them like being pretty much similar in like actual age. And
I understand that, but I feel a bit like Anton is a bit out of his league dealing with this lady because he's like he's whether intentionally or not he's being like weirdly like manipulated or at least like affected by her strongly when she's not like all there emotionally, where she's having like these crying breakdowns and like he's putting a lot on this kid. But you know, whatever, it's her. I mean, she's only a few days old, I guess. Yeah, I mean technically he's older than her, that's like the joke.
Yeah, but like
but not personality wise, obviously. Man, I miss Mizuha, the real Mizuha.
The real one, yeah.
None of these fucking clones.
I wonder how this still like we haven't seen the payoff for this arc yet, so I still don't know how this even connects to like the weird flesh.
The flesh flowers and stuff.
I mean,
this is more giving us just what the deal with the doll is and what's up with Anton. And Anton's got a he's got bonitis, and he needs to cure the bonitis.
That's fine. This just should have been the beginning of a new manga.
Maybe.
Or it should have been the beginning of the arc entirely.
I think, yes, I was going to say that. I was going to say the arc should have started with this, because like the whole rest of... Just cut fucking Anton... Yeah, I said Anton earlier. I meant Abel's arc. But yeah, cut Anton out of the fucking story. He's stupid. Cut out the entire last stretch of the bounty hunter village fucking... jerking around shit, even the beginning concept, but just like they should have opened with this, and then Fushi comes into it later, and Fushi's almost become like a background character, like, you know, those like really good stretches of like Sandman where you barely see Sandman, and he's like almost like a background guy. I think that's what this should have been. Like almost felt like a tease where you're waiting a long time for him to show up. Instead, it's like they do that a tiny bit with like you're with the doll alone for a while before Fushi shows up. But like I don't need any of that setup.
That section was still fine.
Just like if with some trimming. That's what annoys me about like the future arc saga, whatever, is like with some trimming, it could have worked as like a fine like epilogue stretch that isn't as long as the other ones, and it's still not as long as the middle one, but it could have really just trimmed itself to be just like a finale. Instead it's more like a meandering you're just like limping to the finish line at this point, where you're just like the story must end, and it is going to end soon. It might end in the very next stretch, or I think it just probably next week it might be over, honestly.
Hooray.
Yeah. But but then we end with a big tragedy. Every character gets fucking killed, and it's doll time. I don't know. I don't have that much to say either. I just like little moments in the stretch. I like some characters. I think it's got some interesting dynamics. I'm not 100% with the Anton 32 relationship. Maybe that's just because I'm Abel 32 relationship. Maybe that's because I'm jealous. But
I find it weird that
The
that
uncle?
his step, yeah, right, yeah,
The
his
uncle is
not his
very
step-
involved in things. The uncle's a weird character because
the
he's almost
uncle,
like a
is a cool
meme.
character.
Yeah, he's cool, but he's like a meme.
I find it
dude.
weird that he calls him like Andy or something. Like he doesn't call him Abel, and I don't know.
No, he calls Anton
AD.
Andy. Yeah, and
AD.
he calls Anton Andy, and he calls Abel AD for some reason. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck is up with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't even think we need that much explanation for the doll thing, but yeah, it's
No. It's a cool, horrifying thing that
it's
you have to
it's a
need to
cool,
follow.
yeah, exactly. It's like an interesting, like, there was like an artist a long time ago, like the 60s or something, or 70s, that did like a weird performance thing where he like sculpted a replica of himself, and then he like plucked all his body hair and normal hairs and fingernails and teeth and put them in the statue to look like more like him than he was. It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, I see why.
Yeah, so it's pretty gruesome. I mean,
I'm
there's not much more of that to be said,
It's
but
like
yeah,
cut off.
I do. It's interesting that our friend just became like a flesh computer, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let he who has never done that cast the first.
That's he who has never been a flash computer was a stone. Yeah, I mean, isn't that what we are in?
And I guess this is where we
Unfortunately.
stopped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually read the next few pages, but that's neither here nor there.
It's fine.
You
We saw their corpses floating in the thing underneath. You know what's going to happen. Yeah. Well then, yeah, to Eternity sucks. Cool. Man.
Now we get to
It's just over.
Michi's subconscious has hijacked me to pick the perfect manga for him.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sorry to disappoint, but I loved it. No, I'm kidding. Yes, you are correct. This was a slam dunk for me, and true to form, I loved it. It's a very good manga. It was like a 9 at points. I almost was like tempted to give it a 10. I'll have to reread it maybe, but
I don't think it's perfect.
I don't think it's perfect. Yeah,
but it was. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what I expected, but this was a pleasant surprise for me too.
I had chills. I have not felt these chills since I was reading the memory part of To Your Eternity. Speaking of, I want to mention one last thing about To Your Eternity. When they're trying to bust the door, one of the weapons he brings out is the hedge cutter that chopped his arm. Yeah, the weed whacker. So, call back to a better part of the story.
Yes. Yeah.
This is not a pipe.
Yeah.
Well then, she really is an imperfect girl. You know, a better titled manga there never was.
Imperfectly programmed girl.
Yes, this is an adaptation of a Nisio Isin light novel by a mangaka I'd never heard of. But I'm now a big fan of. Yeah.
Like when not everything looks like the super high polished art, but every time it's on page it looks.
Yeah, it has some like less like here at the start, especially like some of the panels are more like kind of like slapdash and a bit jank. The way the guy's drawn can like go back and forth between like looking very good and looking kind of like mid, but every like important shot looks amazing. The girl looks fucking fantastic in every panel. Yeah, very well drawn manga. Like at the start I was unsure when I was like looking at stuff like this. By the end I was like sold. Yeah, sold on everything. Yeah, you know what it reminded me of at certain points like this, and especially the girl's like teacher. I think this guy might be a fan of Takeshi Oba, like the Death Note Bakuman guy, like the way he draws certain faces. That was the closest comparison I could think of, and also it looked quite a lot like the Monogatari manga.
Yes,
which is interesting because that's a completely different guy. That's so great. So I wonder if because reading the notes at the end, I don't think Nisio Isin was very involved with the production of this manga. He was like, you know, he like confirmed it and stuff, but like this guy did the manuscripts, he did the. He adapted it basically himself. Like this is his manga. The story is Nisio Isin's, but it's not like a collaboration like a Bakuman or something. It's so it might just be a thing where like DC Oisin just mentions fish a lot in his text. I don't know.
I wonder how that came about, like that specific metaphor.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I kind of got the idea that the fossil thing is like the way that they're like kind of frozen in death is like a fossil, you know, like in that way where like a fossil kind of preserves a corpse for a long time, the way they're just like preserved in their death pose like that.
The thing I noticed on reread, finally I didn't pick up on it the first time, is every time we see the small fishes like take bites out of her, those are the individual rules that like are tearing her apart, and she has to keep the rules straight, and in the end you see she cannot do it anymore, like when she gets like ripped apart by all of them.
Cool. Yeah.
Jaws nodded along sagely. What a proper upbringing.
I like this face a lot. I'm a big fan of drawing noses and eyes like this.
I do like how it alternates. You mentioned the Monogatari manga. I didn't make that connection. I like how it has the kind of alternation between moments of kind of sketchy simplicity and, you know, symbol drawing, and then almost fetishistically high detail rooms and machines and things like that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, those moments is what the Monogatari manga looks like the whole time, basically, where it's like there's lots of like complex animal drawings and backgrounds, and everyone is drawing
that one was like more polished than this one.
Sure. Great is more of a virtuoso artist, like, but this guy definitely has a lot of like expression.
He can do it when
he can do it. Yeah, well, he can do it when he spends a lot of time on it. But the moment to moment doesn't look like that. So our main character is a loser.
He's when he was 20 years old or something. I forgot the age of the character. Something.
I guess he's like 20 here. That's kind of a weird thing that's kind of a funny thing, is that how different he looks 10 years later, when it's like, you don't look that different from when you're 20 to when you're 30, but okay. Yeah. Like, he would just look like him and she would recognize him immediately. I think she does anyway, but we got our big moment, saving the video game before running to this. Okay, I'm going to get into like a weird tangent here. This is something that annoys me a lot as someone who makes stuff. I constantly have moments of making things, not releasing them, and then seeing those things in other things, and now it looks like I got them from that. In chapter 1 of my light novel, I have a little girl pick up a severed head. And now here it is. I keep having this because I'm trying to write this manga, this comic about a serial killer, and so I'm specifically avoiding reading From Hell or Child of God because I don't want it to be, because I'm coming up with stuff, and if I read that, then it's going to look like stuff I already came up with before is going to seem like it came from there, but it didn't.
As always.
Yeah, it's annoying. The burden of originality, but this is a very, this is a clever subversion here, because it's set up where it makes us, it wants you to think she's like an unemotional sociopath psycho girl who's just like feigning her, where she's like pretending to have emotions, but like her saving the game makes it feel like she doesn't even really care and she was just doing this as a performative thing, and then it seems like she's kidnapping him to make it be like, no one can know that I'm actually like an emotional psychopath, but that's not true at all. We find out she's doing it against her will, and she does feel for her
more
friend.
of a reaching thing that happened to me when I read this. When she saves the game, like it reminded me of all those like supernatural stories where someone has like save powers, where they can like save a point in time.
That's a weird way for someone to go first, but it's not impossible when you're in like Indicios, and it could have been something like Juni Taisen, where. Yeah, there's like, because there's a guy in that, he has like checkpoints, the rat guy.
The rooms.
One thing Nisio Isin does, especially early but throughout, that I hadn't noticed before, it's sometimes risky, but he can be very clever about snuffing out plots and spoiling himself in a strategic way to make sure you focus on the important thing.
Yeah.
He basically established early, I get out of this after about a week.
Yeah.
He says that early on. He loves like preemptively spoiling stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the pressure, but it takes the pressure off, where you're no longer looking at it going, how is he going to get out of this? And then relatively early, you learn he can escape at any time.
Yeah, that's like one of the best things, like that the fact that it's established that he can get out of it any time he wants to. He just indulges.
That's an interesting thing. My opinion on spoilers has changed a bit, but at different points I've been like, there is something to be said for like stuff being spoiled doesn't necessarily ruin the experience. It just makes it a different experience. Like, like the experience of knowing that he's going to get out of it, that doesn't ruin the story for you. That just makes your feelings different than they would have been. Like that's the author kind of steering you into a different emotional range where you're not scared anymore. Now you're more intrigued or something like that.
Yeah, for example, like if you're watching One Piece and having someone constantly chime in going, oh, hey, see that guy? In 350 episodes, he scrumples the royal consort.
I don't do that.
For the sake of the royal dragoons.
I will say I do have issues with people going on wikis and spoiling themselves for Muramasa, but you know that's neither here nor there.
Damn.
But,
well, that was before
I want to rob
ever
themselves from one of the greatest cathartic moments in
I had
fiction,
absolutely no intention at that point to read it, and then I did.
And now you'll never have that moment. Yep.
Yep.
Very cool. I don't think I'm gonna watch Attack on. I don't think I'm just gonna read the wiki summary because it's such a shit show anyway. So I'll just go read the summary if it only gets good in season 3 anyway. Hey, look, someone threw a fucking recorder in his wheel. It's cool.
I could spoil the whole thing for you and save you.
I don't think I'm gonna like it, even if I went in spoiler free. Like I'm not into nationalistic like big reveal shit. So. And the guy's
Wait, are you talking about Attack on Titan?
Yeah, because I know the guy's like an uber Japan racist. So I'm not that into... Yeah, he is. I've seen stuff he said. Man, look at this.
Yeah, we're talking about Attack on Titan. But he does a good job of framing this so that you understand the real intrigue here is... The real intrigue here is just knowing what's going on with the girl emotionally or plot wise until relatively late. I was willing to humor the idea there was something supernatural going on. It wasn't until like I don't know, the 3/4 mark maybe, where I was 100% sure, okay, there's nothing magical going on with the notebook or anything like that. It's a metaphor.
You know where I thought something supernatural was happening? When he's going through the house and he's like, there's no food and the water hasn't been used in ages. That was like Sayano Uta vibes or something. I thought it was going to be revealed she was like a weird, like she was like a vampire or something. It's like, oh my god, she's been living alone all this time, but she doesn't eat food. Like she's like an immortal. That's why she can be like, she's like an eternal little girl or something. Also, the other Nisio Isin thing, he just loves girls with sharp blades. He just loves a girl holding a knife and pointing it in your face. He just gets a boner. Yeah.
I wonder if this has to have come after Monogatari.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I think the most unrealistic thing that happens is her stealing the student card and the key while the guy is...
that was very... That's one thing it doesn't like fully 100% like justify, but isn't crazy. It's just she's like hyper competent for a 4th grader. Like she on the one hand can't operate a fucking washing machine, but on the other hand she can quickly engineer a plan of like throwing a recorder in someone's wheel to steal their ID card and
she's never seen paper money somehow.
Yeah, that's right. She's never seen.
She has just not. Like
I don't think she'd ever seen a 10,000 one, but that's stupid. Like if you've seen one bill, you would recognize a bill no matter what the nomination was. So, but
I will say,
hey, look, a fossil. Isn't that a neat touch?
Her age was slightly odd. It's not that it doesn't work at all, but in
4th grader, so
the
9 or 10, but it's odd. Yeah.
The translation I read, like we probably all read the same one.
Yeah.
But there early on it said, maybe this was him misunderstanding, but it said middle schooler, and then eventually it went to like primary schooler later on. Like that's like
different
terms. If you contradicts itself.
Recorder is a classic. Like recorder and the backpack is dead ringer for primary school.
Yeah, it's like based on like I don't know if we actually did read the same translation, because the first few chapters or so are definitely done by someone else in the translation that I did. There are like spelling mistakes in it and stuff like that, so that person probably just got that
I don't
wrong.
think I read the same one as you, because you were saying the Bato plugin wasn't working for you. I was using the Bato version because I didn't
say it wasn't working for me. I said I didn't use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. it was just a little.
I didn't notice any spoilers.
I don't know that just. I won't say that either was a problem. It did put me back in my heels a bit because a middle schooler doing this is still obviously completely unrealistic. But whatever.
Well, a middle schooler would be able to do their own laundry, probably. Yeah.
Someone this young taking a knife and kidnapping someone, it gets over into oh come on territory where it's just beyond a question that he's going along with this because he's a wayward spirit who's bored and wants to see what's happening.
Sure.
Yeah,
as opposed to there being because it goes from obviously you could win that fight to you could kick them in the chest like a dog and they would just fall over.
Yes, exactly. I will say
it just goes into like you wouldn't even have to try to get out of this.
I was reminded watching these shots. There was some confusion with the knives. It's a very distinct looking knife. It's like a stumpy wooden knife, and she seems to have multiples of it, and that's like
I think it's a box cutter.
But box cutters don't look like that. Usually
exactly
they come out of like a plastic thing.
Sharpener or something like that.
I think it might be a pencil sharpener, but that's weird that she has so many, and that's what her parents would just use. They just like had these around the house, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we later see what she looks like, so maybe they used it on her, and that's why
but that could have come from any knife too. It's kind of weird that they would have like this specific knife.
To me, it looks like something with a disposable razor blade. Maybe it's not exactly a box cutter, but I think it's meant to be in the same genre, like a little X-Acto knife or something like that. It looks like something meant for like cutting.
It looks like a lidless like thing, yeah, but that's odd.
We'll never know.
I mean, it is comical. I do like that he just can remove the door because the whole time I was like, if you just like put your feet up against the shelves and push your back into that, there's no way that thing. Yeah. Like I've kicked a door down before. It's not hard. Like he doesn't even need to.
Supposed to be that
especially
strong,
not a closet door. Like
when they build houses, the idea is you want the front door to be somewhat strong so people can't get in.
I was like, he's still stuck in the house.
Internal doors, they're designed so if there's a fire or something, you can just punch your way out of them. They're not doors are not meant to be indestructible.
You have not seen doors in Germany.
No.
Germans are scared, but
what would you nail?
We have houses made out of bricks, so it doesn't burn as easily.
In Portugal, the houses are also made out of bricks, but the doors aren't made out of metal. I think
in America,
most of my doors would be very easy to smash in. A lot of them have like glass panels, but he's stuck in a closet. Cool. Immediately. I mean, I will say it's not a fault against the manga, but I did get kind of annoyed early on at like how much he's like focusing in on like being like, the situation is so ridiculous. Let me list out all the ways in which it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, I know. I'm an adult. I'm an adult reading your comic, Nisio. No, he didn't. That's insulting to the reader's intelligence. Like, it's stupid to be the character is not a child. Like, he understands the situation intrinsically, and so do I. Like, I don't need you to remind me that he has to go to the toilet. That's the first thought I had when he's locked in a thing. It's like, oh, he's gonna need to shit. Like, I don't need him to be like, whoa, this is crazy. I could call the police, but yet I'm staying here. Like, yeah, I understand the concept. Thanks. I'm not an idiot, but if you want to write stories for idiots,
to some extent, it's a Japanese thing.
Yeah, I think it's just because
it's a Nisio Ising thing where he likes to narrate his stories as they're happening.
I guess so, but that kind of bugs me in his other stuff.
It goes
too.
a little far, I admit.
Yeah, like after a few pages of him being like, "This is crazy, kidnapped by a child." Like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm reading the story.
I think, like, I personally thought, like, one of the reasons he did it is that you have, like, so many stories where things like these get treated completely serious, but
are there that many where that gets treated?
Yeah, like there are so many stories that have such ridiculous situations going on that you have to.
I get that when he's justifying it more with like when he's like, oh, I shouldn't expect her to be hyper competent because like, yeah, the concept of a super competent child is a thing in fiction. I get that. That's fine to me. I can't find the specific bit, but there was like a stretch where it was like slightly bugging me, where I was just like, yeah, okay, stop. Going waxing lyrical on how silly the situation is and do something. Like,
I mean, one thing about this, the narrator is not he's calling attention to the story, but
well, like
he's not
here,
just,
like I
hold
keyed
on,
on really
say this.
fast that she was home alone, like living alone. It was obvious to me because she's like, and he spends all this time being like, her parents are gonna show up. It's like,
Okay, can I finish my sentence, please? Can you guys hear me? I feel like people are not responding to me.
I'm
like,
just ignoring you. Go on.
I thought you were trying to talk, so I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm not being mean to you. I was like 50 words into a thought, then you barreled in.
But I had a quick thing.
Then I'm checking to see if you are now done
point.
talking. This is not.
Okay.
This is not me. This is not me persecuting you. But I was gonna say, the narrator is calling attention to the absurdity of the plot, but he's not doing it in a way that justifies it. He's not coming up with reasons that the story makes sense. He's just pointing out that it doesn't make sense and constantly mulling it over in his head. To some extent, I think that's probably intentional.
He can get away with it slightly just because the character is a writer like him who reads the same kind of things, so it makes sense for him to think of things in the same way Nisio Isin would think of them.
I mean, it's
he's almost like a self-insert, so that's fine. But I mean, we can't all do that, or else every story would be self-inserts and everything would be boring, and that's not justification for everything.
Many times. So.
Yeah, I get the impression that the writer angle is part of it. Oh god, when I saw strawberries for a moment, I thought
I thought he was going to be fully naked in the closet too, because you see his clothes. When I first saw his belt, because of the way it was rolled, I guess I'll see if I can find it, but though it's rolled in like a perfect here. For a second I was scared. I thought this were like supplies she was buying, and I thought she was planning to like put a dog collar on him or something, and I thought there was like a taser.
It looks really weird,
I was like, oh my god, she's gonna make him into like a human pet. This is gonna be like Misery or something. But then no.
When also, whoever did this manga, there's like 10 high detailed shots of her in profile in like the same pose.
He likes that pose a lot.
He just likes that
her
pose,
arching her back like that a lot too. The way she stands, she almost does like the shaft head tilt at a point.
I think they are going with the writer angle here, where this guy is like, one, he's kind of stuck in life and he's trying to be creative but not doing a great job. I think part of him, there's just a voice in the back of his head going, man, this is going to be such a good fucking story if you just let it happen. It's like, don't participate, but don't try that hard to get out of this, because we're going to maximize the odds that this is going to be an epic book someday. So just go along with it to the extent you can justify to yourself.
He even says that when the guy puts in his log. Like he says, I can use it for a book sometime.
I like how it acknowledges that, that is what I think also is one of the biggest hurdles between bad and good writers is just having lived.
That's true.
Like he hadn't lived any interesting things in his life so far. So finally something happening to him. He's like, this is the jackpot. Yeah, it's true. Because
he says he has to thank her that this experience is what turned him into a writer.
Yeah, that's just true. Like, you can't. If you
I wonder what this
stuff in life, it's going to be hard to write about anything that is interesting.
What were you going to say, Green?
Part of me wonders what this means to Nisio Isin, because he's offering this up as a mythic.
It'd be funny if this was all true.
I think it's like semi-true that he had some experience that had this effect on him. Also, the fact that Nisio Isin focuses in lots of his stories on abuse in the household and what he does.
I don't.
He has some experience with that.
I didn't have obviously anything as crazy as this, but I did share my life with someone who was abused and in an abusive household for some time, and it's not like to this extent, obviously, but just like having a tiny bit of that is, it puts a lot of stuff in perspective in your life and in your head, and really shifts your worldview a lot. So it happening to and his is much more dramatic and and cruel and gruesome, so it would have even more of a powerful effect. So it resonated with me. I thought it was coming from a real place. So I wouldn't find it crazy if Nisio Isin also.
Yeah, like he does.
I'm not
that
saying I'm not saying he took care of a child who was full of stab wounds, but
no, but
he probably knew
used
someone who was in a situation, and because he has that perfect, like, him having that deliberation when he's like being like, what can I do about this, and going between like running away and then coming back and realizing that this isn't something he can easily fix. Like, these are all things that people go through in these situations, but the only way you would know that normally is if you yourself went through it. That's not something you learn about by reading stories normally, except this one, I guess.
Most of the time, What did you say?
Go on, Jaws.
Jaws, go first.
Most of the time when he tells this, he also tells it from an outside perspective.
And I was going to say, there's also a part in this where he refers to, this was back in the day before Child Protective Services was developed.
You can tell
and
this
made
is like
sense, so.
the early 90s or something, because he's using like a weird like type thing. She's playing a Game Boy. She's playing an original Game Boy.
Exactly,
so and he's got an old fucking clam phone. So it's like the antenna phones. So it's like 1990 or something, 89 maybe.
Yeah.
That's when the Game Boy.
I wonder if that's him kind of winking at the camera and saying, I saw some shit back in the day, but let's not get too into it.
I think he is saying stuff like.
It's possible. I mean, that's the first rule, right? About what you know. If what you know about is traumatic situations in 90s Japan,
if you want to become a good writer, you have to eat a lot of spiders.
You have to eat a lot of spiders. You have to eat a lot of ramen and soup from bags. You need to bathe with. Well, never mind. That foot throw could have gone really badly.
Yeah. We were lucky that it hits him with the handle.
And then he wouldn't have been able to run away because his foot would have been stuck to the floor. It would have been a whole mess.
We're just like, it just goes through the daily events.
I'm definitely gonna buy this though. I assume it's collected in a single volume. It's been translated. I would like to have this.
I think it's
on my shelf.
One thing that made me curious about was just later when, this is jumping forward, but when there's kind of the climax where he, helps her calm down by making up a bunch of stories on the spot. It was, when I looked at that, I thought, well, that's got to be just all of Nisio Isin's stories.
Yes, I that was like the most impactful scene for me when I realized that's what the stories are that he is telling.
Yeah, that was very important.
And so I looked it up, and of course someone on Reddit had posted a list of what all the different stories are referring to. I
reckon there's only like 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty comprehensive.
I some too.
A lot of them, I was surprised they were all light novels. I was wondering if one of them was going to be his Medica box or whatever, but actually no, they're all his light novels. But yeah, every single one refers to something he's published before, and it just made me kind of curious because it would be cool to go and see what all of these are referring to.
I had the exact same idea when I first read this, and I looked into it, and there were, it's like crazy that how much stuff he's actually written that we just don't know about. He's written like 10 or 12 different things.
Yeah,
he's
a busy man.
He's the goat. That one, like just the very first one, the blue hair.
Zaragoza,
girl is Zaragoza, which I know nothing about.
I've tried.
I know almost nothing about his work other than
I've watched the anime adaptation for the first volume or first arc of Zaragoza, and I tried reading the light novel multiple times, but I just like it. I prefer stuff animated. It's Nisio Isin written. So I famously,
when I was a kid, because I liked Death Note, of all people, I've mentioned my mom for Christmas got me the Death Note tie-in book where, Naomi, or what's her name, the person who hangs herself early on, like Ray Penbar's girlfriend, she has a little adventure with L before the events of the novel. And I didn't learn until much, much, much later that was Nisio Isin. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah. How would you?
I was probably like 13.
Yeah. So
I
there's
don't
no
remember
way.
because I moved out of my mom's house when I was 15, but that would be a little old to be like excitedly sitting under the Christmas tree, opening my Death Notebook, which I remember doing. So I was probably like 13.
Okay. Well, cool.
Damn.
Now he's learned how to get out of the.
Yeah. I do like how he goes back in the closet.
Right. I also like it took me like a little bit, but I think he more or less implies it or mentions it that being put in the closet is like a punishment thing.
I was thinking about that too, where initially he's like, oh yeah, it's a pretty common punishment, but it could also be abuse. And I was like, no, those are the same thing. You're just being Japanese. Like it's like the Japanese and their cruelty knows no bounds. That's why it's like Takubi's original sin all over again. They just love bullying. They just love shutting children in closets for being slightly different. I just thought that was funny. I was like, I don't think there's any circumstance in which you should lock a child in a fucking closet, but okay.
This seems like interesting with her dancing.
She's a little spin.
It's like an interesting
It's
character
also
thing.
interesting that she actually was like friends with that girl. Like,
yes,
was she? I wonder what their relationship was like.
Yeah, I mean, there are like some rules in regards to like friendship in that book that she has.
Yeah, that's right. It says like never betray your friends or something, but it comes way down. So the problem is the ordering. She really emphasized the ordering.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, it is. She's like a fucking computer. She's going down the like this. It totally looks like a Platinum and like Takeshi Oba character. Like the eyes are.
Oh,
the
that
eyes
happened
and the hair
in.
exactly look like it. Now we're talking about
that
Death
happened
Note.
when I was. That happened when I was a kid. Oh, she also kind of looks like the female mangaka from
from Bokurano. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the one Hiramaru's into.
She does.
I was gonna say that also happened to me when I was a kid. One of our we had a car full of kids careen into the dam and die on the way to church when I was in.
And you saved your video game.
Elementary school. No. But then just like there was I sat next to him in one class, so there was just like a jar of flowers there for like a week.
I like this touch of I don't even know if this is intentional or not. I'm just reading into it too much, but I do like that the glass case includes a little rule here because she's all about following instructions strongly, so she doesn't touch the glass. Yeah.
I also always really like that fish. It's cool that they're still around.
Coelacanth, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like her face. That's how I look at stuff in a museum too, so I related.
Yeah. I've been to a museum with him. He's telling the truth.
It's true.
You have to go close because you'll see.
My first date was in a natural history museum, actually. Look at her go. I really like this. This was like one of the first ones where I really like the art, where I love this, like her white outline cut into the fishes. Looks really good.
Looks really cool.
This bit here. You know, I'm a big fan of way fish girls floating in black voids myself, so this was a hit close to home. And then getting eaten or crushed by like a big black figure, you know, that's cool.
Just me.
This is me when they invite her, and then they're like, we did what the teacher said. Although they do say she doesn't think of us as friends, so maybe they thought of themselves as friends. Odd.
No. I think they like the teacher told them to like.
No, I got that bit, but the line afterwards kind of softens it a tiny bit. Where if it was just to be brutal, they would have said like she's just stuck up or something instead of saying she doesn't think of us as friends. Is a bit like victim in a way where they're like sad about it. Yeah. Sorry, Grin, I keep cutting you off.
I was just gonna say I do like the middle section where.
Yeah.
You know, he is now not trying he now can get out of his room, and she's kind of letting him out of the room. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of a stretch in the middle where things are comfortable enough that, he's just like hanging out and doing things around the house where, they're just getting used to each other, but we're not at the conclusion yet. That's nice. They're just having fun. They're eating their little
They're like those weirdly cute scenes where she just forgets that he can just run away, and she just has to run back and pick up the knife again.
From like about here to the storytelling scene. I love all the stretch, and I love it as like a crescendo where I like it more and more and more till that part. And I timed it perfectly with Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony too. The apotheosis of the last movement came at that point, and it was perfect. And tears were shed. Really handle all of the short. Yeah. Look at her go.
I mean, honestly, I almost don't want to bring it up, but like the bath part is probably the big turning point. I'd say.
Since we were like deliberating if we do this in one take, which is what I wanted and which we've done, I cut it exactly at that one reveal there. Like if we had done only 20 chapters.
I mean, that's the point where I was like, yep, it's an ECO manga. Checks out.
I like how it sort of subverts.
Yeah, it does. It's not. You don't have time to. There's like one. The shot of her going in where it like shades her back so you can't see, and you just see like the outline of her butt as she's going in. That's like the closest thing to it being like a lustful gaze you get, and then it goes to like it goes to such a point where you can't even think of it like that anymore, and you're just like, oh, well, this isn't fun anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate they handled it probably as good as they could have. It's just it was a little
like it's handled really well.
But yeah, that's when it goes from, he even says, I went from seeing her as a monster to realizing she was totally normal, and then I realized nope.
Yeah, no.
Where not only does she not have the self-awareness to know she should not just jump into the bath with someone, but also she's covered in like cuts and bruises, and it's like, it's not. Yeah, it's not great.
I also just really like the line where he says children imitate their parents, where just starts to understand why she behaves in exactly all these ways.
I did like that line. On another part of me was also like, well, like there are very few other reasons why she would be so comfortable using a knife, like why did you think she was so? Why did you think her first impulse was to take a knife to you? Jeez,
yes,
I wonder.
That's why I think that the same sorts of knives were used.
Yeah, I know. But although it could have been a thing where it's like, because there are those things of just like some, like that famous like Japan psycho child case where his parents weren't abusive at all, and he just cut a classmate's head off. So could happen.
Could have been her.
Could have been her. It's a nice scene of them eating food. I like how she's pointing the knife at him.
Yeah.
Which is how I prefer to have all my meals as well, so fair enough. It's funny how she cuts herself off closing the door so many times. Also the little subversion where he's like, she says the parents have gone away, and then he like quickly dismisses the notion that means they died, because he's like, nah, that's silly. That's like in Japanese, she probably means they just left, like they couldn't have died, but then they actually did die.
Yeah.
Clever, sort of. Yeah, I was surprised that it was so recent, their death, because it makes sense in the end, but I had thought this to be like, because we see like the fucked up notebook and stuff, I thought this had been the thing of like her whole childhood pretty much, but I was like, how does that, I was like, who's paying, like, it could have been something where like, because I was wondering about the bills and stuff, I was like, it could have been something like, because I just watched Odd Taxi, and in that his rent is like paid in advance of a year, so I was like, oh, maybe her neglectful parents just like paid the bills in advance, and they like are giving there's like a deposit of like money for her to get food, but she's not even like she doesn't know how to do it, or they just thought the meals at school would be enough or something. Like it wouldn't have been impossible for her to having been living like this for a few years, but no, it's only been like 12 days. I was like, okay, that's more
which
realistic.
Is still like a really long time.
No, it's a really long time. It's a really long time. I'm just saying it was more grounded than I expected, because I was thinking it's going to be something like that she was this crazy because she'd been alone for so long. But
yeah, the only problem is just
the clothes wouldn't check out because she would have run out of clothes.
Yeah, and also one thing that the time frame does, it does make it kind of a crazy coincidence that he ran into her,
That was really lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, that her friend died a few days after her
after that. Yeah,
died,
that's like another big coincidence. But yeah, that's how stories work.
It's not the end of the world, but it's just a little.
It's not. I'm just
a little much.
Just saying how my experience was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like her going out and buying stuff.
That's like really sad in a way. Like
her carrying the bags.
Yeah, her carrying the bags. Back.
Yeah, I mean everything he does, he always has to catch himself and be like, like he keeps realizing he no matter how thoughtful he tries to be, there's always something he didn't think of. Where he's like just asking for food. I mean, she goes hungry, he tries to rectify it, and now she had to like really struggle.
Yeah, that's really well done.
Damn, she gets so excited to eat the breakfast. It is interesting how he does manage to convince her. I mean, that's probably exhaustion and hunger that, pried her open a bit there, but yeah. Crazy. I guess I'm trying to keep up here and go through this fast.
Yeah, I mean, we're jumping all over the.
She hungry. She she attack. She protect.
She break down.
She break down.
Yeah, there's the thing with how she just treats the rules pretty much exactly, where the living room is a mess, but her own room is completely clean.
Yeah, that's
things like that.
Little touch. I was surprised there was no drawings of panties in the laundry hamper, or when he's doing the laundry, but I can't expect that.
I think he probably didn't want to.
I think he wrote that in the book, but the mangaka said no.
Good for them.
Yeah, this is where I think around here, like the final volume has like the best like artwork consistently. Like almost every panel looks really good. I love this. This hand shot is gorgeous. This is
truth in television. About 5 days without a shower is the exact moment that it becomes an emergency. So I'm glad. I'm glad
he's one of the few Japanese people who can actually grow facial hair. I like her snail shirt.
Hachikuji reference?
Maybe. She does her hair into two ponytails. That's fun. Yeah, this is definitely the final volume is Kino for sure. Starting with this. You have to bathe your pets, I guess. I'm amazed she didn't wash his back. Yeah. Look at her holding those box cutters. I'm trying to save the last stretch for when I actually get to it, but bath time. I do like him deliberating and being like, I really hope the cops don't show up now. He has various points. He has various points where, like, I like how through the different points of the situation, it's more or less a good idea to call the cops. Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it went pretty far for a publishable manga. Kudos. Again,
for published manga.
Well, yeah, because like in the realms of like doujin or stuff, you can get more graphic with the violence and with the nudity. I'm saying it went pretty far for something that was in just a magazine. It was in a seinen magazine, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be.
It was in Young. That's the one that I think that's the one Berserk was on for years. I was gonna make a comparison. No, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost at the end.
We're almost at the end here.
7 chapters left, 6 chapters.
Yeah, this is where the orchestral music was in full swing, and it was a mood. I kept having to stand up and walk around to get my emotions in check. I like this shot of him like almost walking out and then imagining the like closet coming to mind.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone ever watches this, go read this before you watch the rest of the podcast. And then come back. I do like him. Yeah, I do like the subversion of like because the tiny part of you is like, as he's going around the house and going into more and more rooms, you're scared that she's going to show up, and see him out of the thing and attack him with a knife. And they do a clever thing where I don't think it was like supposed to be like super dubious, but there is a part of you where like the shot where she runs in and hugs him looks a bit like she could have been like, like run stabbing him, like clutching a knife.
I never thought that. Like,
I didn't think that was what was happening. Like it felt like a hug to me. I just thought the way the drawing was drawn could be, maybe it was drawn that way to look a tiny bit, because she doesn't. It's not a hug where she wraps her arms around him. It's a hug where she has like her hands clutched and she like rams her face into him, and that's kind of like classic like girl stabbing motion where it's like just like what I mean, like
I know what you mean. Yes,
they do that in like Dura or something where it's like someone just like kind of runs up at you and like shoulder barges into you with a knife clutched and then like backs off. And I was like, oh, that kind of could have looked like it could have been something where it was like she opened the door, she was like, he's broken the rule, and ran into him with the knife, but no. So that was a nice little moment of like tension dissolving. That's the great reveal with him reading the notebook, and he also like he puts everything together really nicely, and he becomes like more of like a badass character. Like the artist starts shading the top half of his face, and here it's like where he's kind of all his like apprehensions from earlier and his qualms have kind of dissolved.
He now knows what he has to do.
He knows what he has to do, and him and the parent thing was a cool reveal.
The shadow thing is just it's into this metaphor.
It's really cool, and I have no idea how this was expressed in the book. Like it may be mostly an invention of the mangaka. Like I want to praise the mangaka a lot, because this is his work. Like obviously Nishio Oisin came up with a really compelling, cool story, but this as its own work is, like people do manga and comic adaptations of like classic literature all the time, and that basically is counted as just their work. I mean, normally because the author is dead, but like this is this guy's manga, and he did a fucking knocked it out of the park job. And it's really cool because this is the opening page of the manga. We see her sit here saying, exactly. I'm leaving now, to her parents.
Like we could have like thought about it, because who else would she be saying that to?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, it could have been something where it's just that sad thing of like maybe a portrait of her parents, or saying it to just saying it to an empty room, and just like she's kind of can't get over it. But it was literally her parents. Like and this scene here also, this straddles the line just right in being like that level of fiction where it's like it seems like it's like unlikely and borderline preposterous, but it's just not impossible enough to be that I can be like, okay, that's cool. Because it's like, that would be very hard to time for two people to strangle each other at exactly the same time to stay in that position. But it wouldn't be impossible if they were balanced just right and rigor mortis set in, and they had the exact same amount of strength and grip. This could happen. It's a 1 in a million chance, but for artistic license, I'll take it. What do you think of all this reveal, Green? I need to rest a second before we get to the last bit. Green, has he been on mute this whole time?
I hope not.
Oh, god damn it. Green.
No, don't leave us.
God damn it. Oh god, I hope the internet didn't crash.
I'm fine, I just need a moment.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you can tell me what you thought of it later. The smell setup is cool.
That it's like brought up one tiny time early on, and then here we get
And if there's one person who could deal with the smell, it's probably her. Yes. I don't know if anyone's ever said this about this manga, but it's messed up. And it was also
no one has ever said
and I
this
will
about...
also say, I don't think anyone's ever said this, but this is my whole, it was made for me. This manga was made for me.
It was. That's why I recommended it. Well, not recommended, but one of
I'm glad. This is probably the best recommendation you've ever made to me.
Yeah, I was expecting this to. I don't know, just looking at the cover, I was expecting this to not be that good or be like an edgy psychological.
Yeah, I thought here. I was like, exactly. I was like, here goes Jaws again, being wrong. Oh well, here we go again. I was like, CJ, and at the start I was a bit dubious. I was like, I don't like the drawings that much. Jaws is probably going to defend them really hard, and you know, I was like a bit annoyed by like some of the early writing. I was like, this is going to be like, I'm just going to end up being like, it was fine or something. But then when I got into it, I was like, holy shit. A new favorite manga, unbelievable. Not top 10, but yeah, I love.
I think my best recommendation was Disco Elysium too.
Well, okay, but in terms of like anime and manga realm, I mean, in ways I like this. I don't know. I won't say I like this more than Disco Elysium because I think Disco Elysium is amazing, but this speaks to me more personally than Disco Elysium does.
Honestly, the biggest question I have at this point, do you know how hard it would be to strangle someone with a fucking extension cord?
I don't know. She's a woman.
Do you have experience with that?
When I've tried, it didn't work out.
But it's thick and it's rubbery and it's awkward the whole.
When I saw their silhouette the first time and I saw this rope thing, my first thought wasn't that they had killed each other because it's a weird thing. I thought it might have been some weird like sex act gone wrong where their parents were like sick perverts and they had been like doing like some weird like autoerotic asphyxiation bondage thing and they'd gotten like trapped in their own contraption and died.
That's BoJack Horseman.
That wouldn't have been that crazy. It would go with their like negligence and them maybe being perverts or something. I will say I do like that. I guess I don't know if I like it, but it's interesting that we don't. They never tell us where the turning point was with the abuse. From the Notebook, it seems to have started around 3 or 4 years ago. But but the fact that she does have a memory of like a happy time, and we just see them arguing. Like my guess would just be something quite mundane, but very common, which would just be like the parents, their marriage starts breaking down, and they take out their frustration and anger as much on each other as they do on the kid.
Yeah, something like that. Losing a job.
Yeah, like it's much easier to abuse her, with the knife and bruising. I'm sure they also slap and punch each other too, but with her it's obviously worse because she can't defend herself. And
it's like they hit her, wound her where no one can see, which is
really they did purposely. Yeah, I noticed that immediately when she's in the bath. I was like, all the wounds are on the covered areas, of course, and she always wears like pretty like long skirts and stuff. I mean, not that's uncommon, but she doesn't wear like a shirts or tops that would show her belly or anything like that. Like, teacher.
To be fair,
wise
she'd
teacher.
be a little young for that anyway.
Well,
but yes,
yeah, sure. But there could be some circumstances. Or
like
it could be like a wide. It could be like a strap top that showed her shoulders, for example.
Or just a normal T-shirt with short.
Short sleeves. Exactly. She wears long sleeves. Stuff like that.
This is interesting. With her not going to the funeral.
Yeah, but she does. She did show up at the gate, though.
Yeah.
But I guess she had like priority rules for stuff. It was her outfit. She looked at her outfit. That's it. She went there and then she realized everyone else. I just noticed that now. I was like, why is she looking at her sleeve? Yeah, everyone else is dressed in things and she doesn't have a black clothes to wear.
Yeah, or she doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, clever. She had never. Yeah, she didn't know about that. She got there and there was no time.
And now we get to the point where she cannot keep the rules straight anymore.
The fishies.
I really like that scene. It's like really cool. It's really well drawn.
It is really cool. Yeah. This also came at like a big crescendo in the song, and I was like, damn, this is a perfect drawing for that. Very cool. This drawing is cool.
Yep, reminds me of your drawings.
It reminded me of my drawings. In a way it's always bittersweet when I come across someone who is like similar to me in ways, and when I can imagine myself drawing some of the things they would draw, like someone who's like super skilled, like a Yusuke Murata or a Miura or something. Like it's not. I don't feel any I don't feel any pangs of like guilt or anything looking at their stuff because they're so far ahead of me. But someone like this feels like a contemporary almost, even though he's much older than me, obviously. But it feels like, damn it, why don't I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who you can imagine yourself as an alternative version.
There's
of
like
them are the
those.
ones
There's like
that
Olympian god artists who are like not their motives cannot be understood by me, and then there's other people,
Immortals.
yeah, who feel like different, like a kindred spirit, but who's just better than me, who just works harder, and he goes through that in the story. Yeah,
Niso Isin, of course, his age can only be estimated because
yeah, that's true.
because he's a nut. But people say he's about 45 years old. He was
He's
probably born in
actually-
1981.
He actually published his first works from the womb, so it's hard to time it.
Yeah, I gotta
go on, say
say,
stuff before we get to the finale.
yeah, this is all good, but the probably the biggest question for me is just what Niso Isin thinks and feels as he reads this or as he writes this.
Well, we know because he said at the end.
Oh, right. I don't know. I just wonder. I wonder what the internal experience of being him was like when he was younger and how it overlaps onto this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, keep
like
wondering.
somewhat similar.
When he's really old, he's going to do a biography, probably. My life, but it's going to be like really esoteric and hard to parse.
Yeah, he's doing the boy and the heron thing, but for himself.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, that was my prediction.
Yeah, obviously this scene is fantastic, amazing, great. It hit me hard. It's not, again, like, it's never going to be like that it's close, but like it was closer than I expected because I've also had the experience of like making up like bedtime stories for like a crying little girl before, actually. So this was close to home to me. It wasn't the reason I like started to make art or something, but it definitely was a thing that stuck with me. And yeah, this is basically what stories all began as since caveman times in a way. So it's very like pure and like it's like a really good like apotheosis. Like it feels like a fucking what's the word for like when you have like an epiphany? It's like an epiphany moment. It's really well done. It's fantastic. It's really real. I mean, the manga could have ended here. Like, I
like that we get the epilogue. Actually, like this is one where I really don't know the epilogue.
I like the epilogue. I will say, I think the ending is one of the reasons it's not a 10 for me. It's just too good, so to speak. Well, that is part of it, but also this is going to be a weird reason. But I find that this is going to be hard to express. The ending being like making sense was worse for me because I was expecting from Nisio Isin, I expect kind of like mind-blowing, like unexpected turns. The fact that it was so like kind of like it made perfect sense and it's the only way it could have ended, but because it was the way that was the only way I could like fuck my throat, Jesus. I was in my head trying to think, how could this possibly end? And the only thing I could come up with was something like what happened. So I was like, oh, I can't wait for Nisio Isin to like, you know, really, really knock my socks off here with what he comes up with, you know? And then he was just like, oh no, the cops show up and yeah, they get separated and yeah, it's like, and I was like, oh well, that's what I thought would happen, but I wanted like, so it was a bit disappointing for it to just be like a good parsable ending and not like I wished it like the it peaking here was a bit like I kind of wish that the next two chapters had like like I can't think of anything, but that's my point, like because he's a much better writer than me. I wanted him to think of a finale which like blew my mind and was like, oh my god, this solves everything and it doesn't feel like an ass pull and it subverts things and it like is with the themes, like what an amazing ending. But instead I just got like a good ending, which is good. I specifically like the sort of grounded realistic tone of this. Like that's one of the parts I really like about it. It just feels like a letdown. Like, you're supposed to be disappointed, I get that, but like, because of how good the rest was, like, if it had just cinched that into also having like a super like clever, memorable ending that was like something that I hadn't seen coming but totally made sense. If you could have found, there has to be like in the infinity of words somewhere in the Library of Babel, there is a version of exactly the story with a slightly different ending that makes me think it's a 10.
You have to write it, then
maybe I will spend the next few years trying to come up with it, but yeah. But I do like but aside from what I not, it's not even I dislike it, like I'm saying it's still amazing, but yeah, I do prefer 27 to 26. I think it's a clever little way of them being able to
I do prefer the earlier parts as well, but I still like this one.
And it's also a way of it like it's one of the ways where it's like it doesn't like fully lean on them, like, you know, it doesn't like fully hint at like a relationship, but it's also a possibility. You know, it's a nice way for them to be able to meet up. It kind of seems like, I don't think he recognizes her, but I think she recognizes
after she introduces herself at the very least.
Maybe. I mean, him calling her you with letters, and remember, this name doesn't sound to him like the thing, but the way he wrote the story is alluding to her name, so that's interesting. And she would know it was him if he adapted any of the stories he told her, and also he probably just looks like himself, and she would remember him. So that's good. She probably
also, I think, the only time in the manga where we get the actual character's name. I'm like his name on his phone. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that was kind of clever that he never told her his name, and
she just probably recognized him from pictures and from the stories that he would guess. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Good ending. Strong ending.
Very good ending.
Very good ending.
Now
just not amazing.
Now you can rest your voice.
I know a few stories that have amazing endings. That's all.
Like Muramasa. Start one.
Yeah.
Muramasa has like five amazing endings.
Or One Piece. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
One Piece will never end.
Hey, at least we can say Alabasta had an amazing ending, because even Green had to admit the X's on the arms was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's interesting. I needed to be a middle-aged man to appreciate One Piece.
I didn't even have to ask him. We were watching it, and he was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I was like, yeah.
I hated that I liked that moment.
I've always hated that part of myself. Also, I thank you very much to whatever publisher, translation, anything, for adding this blurb at the end, because that's what I was thinking while I was reading it. I was the whole time I was thinking, how much of a collaboration was this? I was thinking, like, did Nishio, is this like an Alan Moore thing, and Nishio Isin gave him like really strict instructions on everything to draw? But no, I appreciate all this detail just to know what the division of labor was, and good job. I have to look up his name. Thank you, Mitsuru Hattori, for your very good manga. I would be curious to read the book, actually. I've read some Nishio Isin.
I would be
don't think
interested
it'll be as good, but yeah.
Interested in like reading a manga that like was drawn by him as well, but he hasn't done much.
I also enjoy that the author mentioned specifically seeing the cover of the light novel and being like, I want to adapt this. Is nice, and this is his first like time adapting someone else's full story, so that's good. Very good manga. Good job, Joes.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, how about the next one? Will that be the same?
I don't probably know.
Dies.
So he doesn't have to find out. He goes out on a high note.
Michi used the last of his chakra to record this.
I'm summoning a Grim Reaper, a chakra demon to get my revenge on YouTube before I go to hell.
He's like Pain doing the Gedo Mazo to just resurrect himself.
I'm gonna do this just to cover Kodomo no Jikan and then die, so I don't have to deal with the backlash. None of the repercussions. Okay, bye everyone. This has been Ichim. Last appearance, hopefully. Bye.
Ichim.